Ahoy! Ahoy, all of you flick freaks out there, what is going on? My name is Andrew, and we are here with a look back at 2015. Joining me today, we have the infamous Aaron Dicer.
Infamous?
Infamous.
Why do I get to be infamous?
I don't know, you're
Can't I just be famous?
You're famous. Well, to me, you're the most infamous film critic I know.
All right,
so.
okay. I always thought that was a negative thing, but that's fine. That's fine.
Is it because of Three Amigos?
Is there a villainy to my movie reviews? I'm infamous.
How about the infamous?
Yes, the very famous.
The very famous.
Spell it E-N-F-A-M-O-U-S-E. Infamous. We'll do that.
That works for me. So, real quick before we get going, let people know a little bit about yourself, where they can find you, stuff like that. We'll plug at the beginning and at the end.
Sure. Your Movie Friend is the brand. That's just the words that you know. Your Movie Friend. Your, I guess, could be spelled a few different ways. Y-O-U-R.
The correct way.
Moviefriend.com, where you can see all my reviews. Subscribe on YouTube. I do pretty much every movie that comes out that shows locally. I do a review on. I've kind of reformatted my reviews recently to be 5 things you may want to know about a certain movie, before you go see it. I really do
like the new format.
I like it too. It's really fun. So I just break down the 5 most important things that I see that you might want to know before you go see any movie. I started that actually with Star Wars. Was the first movie I did that way.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it since then. So yeah, that's Your Movie Friend. You can search on YouTube. Actually, if you search on YouTube, it's actually easier to search for my name. Which is Aaron Dicer, A-A-R-O-N-D-I-C-E-R. But if you're going to the website, it's yourmoviefriend.com.
There's going to be a button right there. Just click on that button, and it'll take you directly to your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. So. I'm actually heading out this weekend to the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yes, in L.A.
Yeah, a member of the BFCA, the Broadcast Film Critics Association. I do local reviews for the television station here as well. And so that's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff on the way. And normally about this time, I imagine for you with screeners and stuff like that, this is when the year really picks up for you.
This is actually where it winds down.
Is it like after Thanksgiving is when it gets crazy?
Yes, yeah. Right around November is when everything starts arriving in the mail, all the screeners for award season. So you're watching movies nonstop, November, December, making sure you're catching things that didn't come to town on the big screen. Late releases like The Revenant. I got that in November. Yeah. Lots of those kind of things so that you have all the stuff for the nominations. Nominations happen, and then we actually get our ballot tonight for the official awards. So I will vote on the official Critics' Choice Awards tonight. Go do the show on Sunday night. It's on A&E, and then after that, it's like the doldrums of January and the winter. And I'm telling you, watched The Forest recently.
Yeah, I watched that too.
The Masked Saint, and it is not a good start to this movie season.
I started this year off pretty good. I watched Anomaly, so that was my inaugural 2016
See, that's another one
movie.
I saw, when the screener came in December. But yeah, it's gonna be a bore waiting for. Was it March when Superman versus Batman?
March 25th is when that comes out. But technically, February 10th is whenever Deadpool comes out.
Well, there you go. So things are starting to move a little earlier in there, but January is death.
Yeah,
at the theater. Ooh.
But let's take a look at 2015.
Let's do it.
It was a good year for both television and film, I think.
I think so.
Everybody's been saying for a while we're in the golden age of television once again, and there was definitely a lot of good things that happened this year. But
it's interesting because so much of that has to do with the way television is distributed now, with so many different outlets, with Amazon and Netflix and Hulu, and all this creative content coming from not just the networks and cable companies. There's now the internet that is providing all this entertainment. So there's so much TV to watch.
And not just like, Netflix is giving us the network, but their original content is really what's killing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's original content coming from these places that creates this. It is a glut of content, but that means the cream's going to rise to the top. And those are the ones you remember.
Exactly. But I think we should start with the most disappointing things that we see in television this year. Anything popping out that you were really excited for that just kind of fell flat?
Most disappointing TV show for me would probably have to be, no doubt, it's Heroes Reborn. I was really excited to see the relaunch of that property. Mm-hmm. I love Zach Levi. I think he's great as Chuck. I thought he was
Chuck
wonderful.
Was so funny.
And he's been great even in the Thor movies since he's taken over for, whoever did his character first or whatever. But I man, that show is awful. It just continues to get more and more cheesy, more and more poorly produced. I want to like it because I like the world and I like the concept and I like him and he's actually okay in it. But in one of the kids in it, kid that has I don't know if you've watched it at all, but the kid that has the teleportation powers,
yeah,
he's really fun. He's really good, but it's
not him teleporting. He teleports other people, right?
Himself and other people.
Oh, I didn't. Whenever because you and I we watched the pilot. Was the pilot 2 episodes just put into one? Is that what that was?
It could have been.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly
because
don't remember.
I know I've told you this before. I never watched the original Heroes. I couldn't get into it. So whenever Heroes Reborn, I was totally lost. And I imagine you have to be familiar with this universe to understand what's going on.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know that they're touching much on the original universe aside from the Foundation. I just think they're not doing very good at explaining it. Like it's just too confusing.
Yeah.
And it's not well made. And that was really disappointing to me. So that was fun.
Well, it's interesting you say that Heroes Reborn because you're a fan of that universe and they just kind of fell flat. For me, Fear the Walking Dead, because I'm such a fan of the Walking Dead and that universe. And I thought, oh, this is the West Coast and it's before the outbreak. We're going to get to see everything take off. And that was just the biggest disappointment.
Within 1 or 2 episodes, we're back to basically where we are with Walking Dead. Now, I know not on the timeline we're not, but the same idea. People escaping zombies. And it's like, I wanted to see the breakout. Like, I wanted more of the government aspect. And there's a little bit of that here, but I think they wanted to focus on the people, right? They wanted the stories to be with his family.
And that was the biggest issue for me is because I am such a fan of the character aspect that you get from The Walking Dead. You care about every single one of these characters. And I thought, oh, Fear the Walking Dead, we're going to follow suit. I'm going to care about all these people and their backgrounds and where they come from. I couldn't care less about any of them. Yeah, I'm not saying that the acting is bad. It's possibly just the writing on that aspect of it. Like, I just don't feel anything for these people. So if they do die, I'm not going to be torn apart. Like, I'm not going to spoil any deaths in The Walking Dead, but obviously there are some that have affected a bunch of people lately. Yeah. And
I appreciate that because I actually haven't started watching this season of The Walking Dead yet. I'm just behind on so many shows.
This could possibly be, if they follow suit with the first half, because, the first half of this finishes, it could be, for me personally, the best season of The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Especially after the disappointment of Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah. It's good to know that at least one of them is holding strong.
Yeah, we always go back to Rick and Gang. Yeah. Be okay.
But that was disappointing. Any dark horse surprises for you? Like, as far as TV, like, I didn't expect it to be that good.
I'm going to go with a comedy, a sitcom, The Grinder. I was not expecting anything from this.
That's Rob Lowe's, isn't it?
Yeah, Rob Lowe and the kid from Wonder Years, Fred Savage. Or kid from Princess Bride, more appropriately.
Yeah. That's how everybody really knows him.
Right. I love that show. It's got such a great self-referential sense of humor to it. First of all, Rob Lowe has found his niche, kind of playing that somewhat not self-aware, but some sort of strange quirky confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that role that he plays, and I've been really surprised at how good his chemistry with Fred Savage is too. They're really funny together. That family is really funny, and they make great comedic choices that don't seem cliche.
Yeah.
And I like that. So I've really enjoyed The Grinder, and I wasn't expecting much from it.
I was pleasantly surprised as well by it. I think, like you said, the Rob Lowe character, he started off in Parks and Rec with that kind of character. Not exactly the same. Yeah. But
well, you can see it a little bit even like Tommy Boy, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Like he's starting to kind of find that aspect to who he is, and yeah, it's interesting.
My inaugural Rob Lowe performance will always be, Wayne's World. That's how I always get him as the villain. But now that he's...
I meant Wayne's World. That's what I meant to say. I meant Wayne's World.
Because Tommy Boy, he was just an asshole.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
It was Tommy Boy. It wasn't Black Sheep, was it?
I meant
they're the
Wayne's
same.
World.
Okay.
So I apologize for that. But
all right. Yeah.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed that one, and I love the stuff that's happened recently in the show where his show got taken over by, why am I forgetting the guy's name? Get taken over by another actor, and kind of how he responds to that. It's just, I was really clever.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. Oliphant. Tim Oliphant.
That guy from Justified. Yeah. So I'm going to skip my dark horse because my dark horse is actually my also best of the year.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to go straight to you again. Best TV show of the year.
You can't pick the same show for two.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was that good.
Look at me telling you what to do on your own show. Okay. My best of the year. I'm back and forth in this between a comedy and a drama. I'm going to go with the drama. Fargo. Fargo was my best show of the year. Better than season one.
Yes.
Love the way they play these characters.
And that's not taking anything away from season one.
Season one was fine.
Season one was
just
great. That much better.
The quirkiness of this show is great and adds a layer of taste to it that nothing else on TV has.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the writing is just so intricate and clever, and you're never confused. You may be wondering about something, but you're supposed to be. The things like you are curious about are things you're supposed to want to know. The things you need to know, you always know. And that's a sign to me of really good writing when the audience is exactly where they're supposed to be with their knowledge.
Notice how we said needs to know. Things you want to know, you don't always get, because there's a couple things in there I'm like, well, what the hell was that? And like, well, I guess it really doesn't matter.
Right.
And there's a lot of people, if you've seen the show, you know exactly what
and I don't want to give
about.
Anything away from Fargo. There's a lot of fun twists and turns in that show.
Exactly.
And great performances all around.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
And your honorable mentions for the year, you said there was a comedy.
Well, the comedy was Last Man on Earth.
I had a feeling that was going to be the comedy.
It's just so good.
And
it's
actually,
so funny.
A lot of people, and I don't agree with this, a lot of people are nagging on this second season because it's taking a more serious turn. And
I love it.
It's great. I think.
Love it. I don't get the hate for season two. I think very early on, I don't think it's much of a spoiler at this point to say he's not actually the last man on Earth. There are other people in that cast.
Yeah. They didn't even make it past the first episode.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That happened. They made that decision very quickly.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think the audience goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be, there is going to be a typical aspect of having an ensemble comedy thing here. Once you give into that, oh man, I think it works beautifully. I haven't found an ensemble cast this fun to watch since the first couple seasons of New Girl, where it's just that fresh chemistry, fun stuff. And I love the show. Very excited to see where it goes too.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. So my dark horse and best of the year, I don't think you've seen this show. One Punch Man. And I know a lot of my viewers, you actually are the ones you assholes, you got me addicted to One Punch Man. I don't know how many times I've seen the first season of this show. It's more than 3 times. I've watched
what's it on? Like, I know nothing.
Well, you can watch it on Hulu, and I think that's about pretty much, you can watch it online.
Is it a Hulu original?
It's not a Hulu original.
Okay.
It's a Japanese anime.
Okay.
And I'm not a fan really of Japanese anime, but for some reason, this is one of the most self-aware Japanese animes, because if you ever see like Dragon Ball Z or anything like that, all the characters, they have to give you their entire background before they fight, and it's very self-referential to that. Like, why are you telling me that? Why I don't need to know this? And I think the main reason why I like it is the main character Saitama, also known as One Punch Man. He doesn't fit into this world at all. He looks like somebody who fell out of a Rick and Morty cartoon into this Japanese anime world, where he notices things and he says things that don't fit in at all. And just the way it's filmed, the dialogue, it's unique. He is so powerful that one punch, he kills everything with one punch. And everybody builds themselves up to be these great, powerful people. And he just walks up, punches them, and then he walks away. And it's funny. I don't think I've ever seen a show quite like this before.
That's like the opposite of most anime, right? Most anime, they build up to these battles, and the battles last like 15 to 20 minutes.
Exactly.
And,
it just, and then he walks away. It's like he calls himself a hero for fun, but he's so powerful that he's bored by the fact that he's so powerful now.
Okay, so I think that's a very clever joke, and a very clever, but is there more to it than that?
There is more to it.
Because it feels like a great sketch. That seems to me like that'd be a great sketch.
And I think that's why it's my number one, is because that sketch, it goes out throughout the entire season, but it never gets old because they always find a unique way to do it. And it's not just him. He has this ensemble cast that do fall into the Japanese anime world, and the way they interact with him and he interacts with them, that's really what makes it funny, is because they're still tied to the rules of that universe, but he's not. And I think just the way that he interacts with them and the fact that each episode gets more and more ridiculous with the characters that they introduce. And you're like, it can't get any more ridiculous than that. But it doesn't get so ridiculous that you get taken out of it.
No, that's good. It sounds fun. I may have to check that out.
You guys, One Punch Man, I blame you.
Fault.
Yeah. Honorable mention, The Walking Dead. It's not over yet, but it's been amazing. Fargo season 2. I don't know if you have HBO, but this newest season 2 of The Leftovers.
See, I gave up on The Leftovers. I
Really?
gave up on The Leftovers after about 6 episodes. I just didn't want to be in that world. Like, I found myself putting off watching them because they just were like such an emotional slog to get through. And I have heard that this new season is good. I don't know that I'm going to go pick it back up. I've got so many things. Are you kidding me with all this? Like, I haven't seen Making a Murderer yet. I haven't seen
that should be an honorable mention.
Narcos. I haven't seen Narcos yet.
That's another honorable mention.
That's what I'm saying.
Jinx.
Like, I haven't seen Jinx yet. Like, there's a lot of. I'm a movie guy. Like, you know this. My thing is movies.
Yeah.
I love television, and I used to do both movies and television. And then when I became, kind of an official movie critic, my TV kind of took a backseat, and so it sits there on my DVR, and like I can't. There's too much I love. Like, I can't get to it all. So I've just got Jessica Jones. I haven't gotten into that yet.
Man,
so I know, right?
See, that's what I'm afraid. Whenever I do become an official movie critic, this is what's going to happen to me. It sounds terrifying and awful that I'm not going to be able to watch all these.
You know what's nice, though, is you find out what shows you really do love because they're the ones that you go to first.
But I don't want to choose because I like Arrow and The Flash, which have been incredible.
Yeah.
But they're like, 25 episodes each?
Yeah.
I would have to cut down on some of those.
I watch The Flash.
Yeah.
I don't watch Arrow.
See, I wouldn't be willing to do that. All right. We've done television. I think it's time to move on to movies.
Right.
Same formula. Most disappointing movie of the year. You had really high hopes for this, and it just broke your heart.
It's hard not to pick Fantastic Four, right? Like, I mean...
It was not for me. I knew that movie was going to be garbage.
Well, so that's a different question then, right?
Yeah.
You can know something is going to be, is having problems.
Yeah.
But still want it to be great. So if the question is...
Oh, okay.
Like, the movie I'm most disappointed in, I'm disappointed in Fantastic Four because this should have been an amazing movie. Those are great characters. That's a great property.
Good cast.
Awful. And it's a great cast. As we know Michael B. Jordan can act. We knew it before Creed. We knew it from Fruitvale Station. So, this is a wonderful cast. So, me looking at it as far as being disappointed by what a movie could have been versus what it was probably that movie.
Okay.
And I can relook and think of a movie that I expected to be good and wasn't good. Because you're right, I didn't necessarily expect it to be good once I kind of heard what was going on. But
for me, a movie I expected to be phenomenal. I actually picked this to be before I saw it, obviously, one of the top movies of the year. And that was Spectre. I expected this to be the tour de force. Okay, you didn't think this could get any better than Casino Royale or Skyfall. And it ended up being my least favorite Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
Mine too. I agree with you on that. Not everybody does. I've heard some people who really love Spectre. And I don't get it because I think it's a mess.
It is a tragedy because the first 15 minutes of that movie, I think, this is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're in Mexico and it's that one long shot.
That may be the best action scene of the year. Well, until The Revenant happened. That may have been the best action scene of the year. It was an incredible opening. And then the movie just falls apart for me. Yeah.
Ever since that song, which the song won a Golden Globe, I didn't think the song even was that great. It's not even... Because Skyfall, even the song was like, blew me out of the water. I'm like, man, she is killing this right now. But you guys know I'm a huge fanatic for 007. I have every single movie. It's back here somewhere. But, yeah.
Here's a movie I expected to be good that was awful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people like this movie. Chappie. I actually expected that to be interesting and good and clever and...
Well, that's because, what's his name? The director. He gave us, District 9 and...
Blomkamp?
Neil Blomkamp. Yeah. He gave us so many incredible movies. And Elysium was okay. It was good.
Right, yeah. It wasn't this.
But he's going down.
Right.
He's going down, and he needs something to...
He's on what's called the M. Night Shyamalan path.
Yeah.
Straight Until The Visit. The Visit actually inches M. Night back up just a little bit, in my opinion.
I skipped The Visit because it
It's
was a
not a
Shyamalan
phenomenal
movie.
film. It's not a phenomenal film, but it actually kind of works.
Is it like The Village? It's an okay Shyamalan movie?
I actually love The Village.
Oh, okay.
I'm a bit of an M. Night apologist.
Okay.
Until Last Airbender happened, which is an abomination of a movie.
See, I never even watched Avatar.
The show?
The show.
Yeah, watch the show,
Okay.
not the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, the show is incredible. I love The Last Airbender.
We're going an aside here.
Uh-huh.
Favorite Shyamalan movie?
For me, I think Unbreakable.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Me too.
I love Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. One of my favorite superhero movies.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love a lot of it. For me, that's barely over Sixth Sense and Signs. Those are my other two that I really, really love.
My God. Really like Thank you so much for loving Signs as well.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah. But I never watched The Village. I just heard it was okay.
That's good. I really liked it. I think The Village suffered from, it was right at that spot in Shyamalan's career where people were tired of him pulling a twist on them. And the movie has like two major twists.
Yeah.
It's not fair that he got, because of The Sixth Sense, he got tagged as being this big twist guy, because putting a twist in a movie isn't his thing. That's like a common storytelling technique, you know? But I think people were sick of that. And because of that, I think when the script came out for The Village, it leaked first. And I think people read through the script and were like, oh, really? Because there's a twist, obviously, that when you read it or look at it, you might think is ridiculous, but I think it actually works in the context of the story. And it's actually a story that means a lot to me.
I called the twist before. I haven't even seen the movie, and I called the twist, and so I was like, yeah, that's what happened. I was like, oh, really?
Uh-huh. So that has been the response. But I think when you actually watch the story, I think it works. I think the heart and the message of what that's about actually works.
All right. So, Dark Horse, surprise movie of the year.
So, you can look at this in a couple ways, right? Number one can be a movie you thought was going to be awful that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it could be a movie you thought was going to be good that was great.
That's what mine is.
Okay, so for me, the movie that you thought was going to be good but was great was Creed.
Me too. That's exactly what I chose.
I was like, that'll probably be a good movie.
Yeah.
And it blew me away.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about it for a little bit, and I'll do my other one.
So after seeing this movie and being taken on the emotional ride that it took me on, because if somebody were to tell me back whenever I saw the original Rocky that Sylvester Stallone would ever make me cry because of his performance, I would have laughed at him.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, I was bawling. It's not too much of a spoiler, but I'll call it the I'm still here speech.
Mm-hmm.
Killed me.
Yeah.
Oh man, that broke my heart. And the man won a Golden Globe on Sunday for how good his performance is.
Yeah.
So if that gives you guys any recollection of just how good he is in this movie, and not just him, Michael B. Jordan kills it. The cinematography in this movie is really what I think the star is, because there's a fight in this movie where it's a multi-round fight, one shot.
It's the year of the one shot, isn't it?
I think
you think of The Revenant, you think of, Creed.
Do you think Cuarón started that with Gravity, where it's just this big, long shot?
Directors have been doing long takes for a while, and you know what I realized, and I talked about this in my Revenant review, is there's a real psychological power to one take.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in the movie in a completely honest and real way.
Yeah.
Whereas when you don't even realize the subtlety of when a director cuts from one thing to another, that is a sign that you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in real life. I don't know if you've noticed that. There are no cuts in real life.
Blinking doesn't move you across the room to a different angle.
There are no, wipes like in Star Wars or whatever. And so when you see something in one take, it's like you're living it. It's like there's no subconscious release from what's happening. And I think we've seen how powerful that is, both in The Revenant, also in that boxing scene, and in other places as well. So
Creed. It was in my top 5 of this year, or last year. It's weird to say last year. Yeah. All right.
I think it was in, it's my number 9.
Nice. Well, you've seen a lot more movies than me. So everybody was impressed on my YouTube channel that I saw over 60 movies in theaters. You saw that in a month, I think. How many?
Not in a month. I wouldn't say in a month.
You saw over 400 this year.
No. I average just over 3 a week. So it was somewhere around 160, 170
Oh, really?
in the theater.
In the theater, yeah.
And then screeners and, and rewatches. I don't know if you count, just new movies or whatever. I probably close to, 2 to 250
Okay.
total. But,
That's still pretty damn impressive.
well, it's a job.
Yeah. So, before we get to best of the year.
Oh, I wanted to mention, can I talk about the first category that I mentioned? Those that you didn't think were going to be any good, but actually surprised you and were
Okay, yeah.
Since we both had Creed.
Yeah.
I want to throw The Gift out there. I wasn't expecting anything from The Gift.
That's the Jeff Bridges movie, right?
No.
Oh, that's The Giver, I'm thinking.
Yeah. This is Jason Bateman. And,
oh, yes.
Have you seen it?
Joel Edgerton movie.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton directed it.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Not great. Like, it didn't make my top 15 or anything, but it's in my top 41.
Let's see what we got here.
So I really liked The Gift. And the other one that's in that same category is The Intern. That's another movie I really didn't expect anything.
Was that the Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that was a really great comedy. So
those
were a couple of mine.
For me, a movie that I didn't expect to be like fantastic, and it wasn't fantastic. I expected it to be actually fairly shitty, but it turned out to be pretty good. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's called Bone Tomahawk.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch that. No.
Surprisingly, it's a really good movie. I'm a huge fan, as you guys know, of Westerns, and I'm not a fan of horror films. This is a horror Western done phenomenally.
I'll have to check it out.
Great performances.
I have a copy laying around somewhere. I need to check it out.
I will let you know right now, hands down, the most gruesome, terrifying, horrific death I've ever seen in a movie ever. Like, to where I actually wanted to turn it off because I was so disturbed by how it happened.
I don't like that stuff.
I don't either.
Like Saw level type stuff?
No.
Like,
this is like, it's not gross. Like, it's gross, but it just, I don't know how to describe it. It's wrong on so many levels because it just seems so real. And I think that's
with like Tarantino stuff. I'm just like,
I think that's the thing with Saw. Saw seems so ridiculous, but this seems like something. It's just right there on the edge of reality to where it terrifies you.
Yeah.
But the movie's great. Just that one scene.
Is it used is it used with intent?
Yes.
Does it inform the story or is it gratuitous?
It's both. It informs the story for the fact that you understand how real the stakes are.
Okay.
So it's not
it's easier for me to deal with something like that than something I feel like it's just trying. Like sometimes I feel like it's used because it's something that's like watching a car wreck or something like that, where it doesn't really mean anything except it's just, I can do this because, I can make gross stuff.
I'll say this. It's a Western about men hunting down cannibals. Cannibals, I'll let you take it from there.
I don't want to take it from there.
Okay. So, honorable mentions.
Oh, for best movie of the year?
Best movie of the year.
All right.
Not the best movie of the year.
I would say, how many honorable mentions do you want to do?
5 honorable mentions.
All
Just
right.
run through them real quick.
My 5 honorable mentions are The Martian.
Yes.
Star Wars Force Awakens.
Okay.
The Revenant. And Steve Jobs.
Didn't you tell me that you, me, and like 1,000 other people picked The Revenant as your number 2 movie of the
Everybody.
year?
All my critic friends, it's like, that is my second favorite movie of the year. I'm like, what is that? Why? Like, everybody and nobody has the same number 1. That's the other thing. It's not like it's this unanimous, number 1 movie. But yeah, The Revenant was my second best movie of the year.
Yeah.
And yours too.
And mine as well.
Yeah.
So
those would be my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions, we have at number 5, The Martian, and then Spotlight. Love Spotlight.
Spotlight's good.
Creed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I know you've seen it, but The Big Short. Yeah. Blown away. I expected it to be a good movie. Didn't expect it to be my number 3 movie of the year.
Yeah, where did I have The Big Short? Somewhere around number 20 or so.
Yeah.
I think it's a great film. I think it suffers from just the weight of its subject material. And that's not their fault, but it still plays into the viewing of the movie. They tried, I thought they did really well at thinking of some creative ways to explain those things.
And that's why I love the movie, is because it's very heavy subject matter, but they tried to make it understandable for everybody. Oh, you don't understand this? Here's Giancarlo to explain
Here's
how
Margot Robbie in a bubble
bath. Yeah, that was great.
Well, especially because she was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a play on that.
Yeah.
That character. I said in my review, it's kind of like This American Life podcast meets Wolf of Wall Street. You know, it's like, it's a weird combination. But I think the same things that make you able to understand it, those creative things, also can take you out of the movie a little bit. Again, they are signals that we're watching a movie. You know, the breaking of the fourth wall, the cutaways to celebrities, all those kind of things. You realize that that you're watching a production, not a story.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a minor thing. Again, I love the movie. It was in my top 20 things.
I think the fact that they did that as well as, you know, people breaking the fourth wall, like Ryan Gosling talking directly to the camera. Okay, this didn't exactly... I love how they said in the movie, this isn't exactly how it happened in real life, but for the sake of the movie, this is how it's going to go.
What I said was it's its own Wikipedia entry.
Yeah.
You know, like it's... You know how you used to watch a true movie and then sometimes you'll go to Wikipedia to see what was actually true?
Yeah.
It does it for you. It's like, we
exactly.
actually made this part up.
Yeah.
And this part's true.
And I think the thing that really got me, besides all the performances, was the fact that during the movie, it would show you snippets of what America and the world was really caring about, while the big banks were screwing us over. Like, we were watching celebrities get married. We were excited about this going on TMZ, stuff like that.
Well, and it's infuriating because it was so criminal.
Yeah.
And nobody has paid for it. And it's going to continue to happen. And it's just like, is this our system? You know? Yeah.
But it's so phenomenal. And
was
then,
that your number one?
That was my number 3.
Oh, okay.
Number 2.
Still on your honorable mentions. Okay.
Was The Revenant.
Okay, yeah.
But, okay, let's do it. Best movie of 2015.
I am a Pixar guy.
Yeah.
And Inside Out is by far...
Not The Good Dinosaur? Okay.
No, not The Good Dinosaur. By far the most... I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Brain-changing movie I watched this year.
No pun intended.
And pun possibly intended.
Okay.
The way you watch that movie and come out with a completely different language for how you talk to people about emotion. The way I talk to my kids about emotion, the way I talk to my coworkers about emotion, it just gives you this very insightful metaphor. Beyond that, it's just a really great, fun story and great voice performances, spectacular animation, all the stuff you expect from Pixar, add to which it's so meaningful and so big. It was a movie when they were making their original list of movies that Pixar was going to do. Like that famous, I don't know if you've heard about it, they had a famous dinner meeting where it was like Lasseter and Brad Bird and whoever, and they laid out in that one meeting the plot for Toy Story, Monsters, Monsters Inc. All
Pixar.
Finding Nemo, incredible. Like they, just in this one meeting, there was one that they laid out and it was Inside Out and talked about emotions, and they all decided it could never work. It's just you just can't convey that to an audience. Yeah. So the fact that Pete Docter pulled it off after they had explicitly said, there's no way you're going to make this work, I just think it's just such a beautiful story, and I really loved it. It's my number one.
Take that. For me, as good as like The Revenant is with like cinematography or The Big Short is with storytelling, nothing gets me more than childlike nostalgia and just fanboyism. It's got to be Star Wars. Yeah. I have to choose Star Wars. I
understand it. I mean, it's my number 3. It's so good.
The weight that J.J. Abrams had on his shoulders to create the greatest movie of all time, because people expected nothing less.
The most anticipated movie of all time.
Yes.
For sure.
And it's now the highest grossing movie in American history, and pretty soon the world.
Well, in England. I think it just broke the record in England as well.
Well, it just got released in Asia, I think, 3 or 4 days ago?
Recently.
So, pretty soon it's going to be the highest grossing movie of all time. Well deserved, because the fact that he was able to take me back to that world, and I believed it, because everybody knows that the prequels were terrible. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he was able to, with practical effects, with the original cast, make this incredible story, and the fact that at the end of the movie, I cared more about these new characters than I did about the original cast.
Yep. I think that's the most powerful thing about the film is you go in really excited to see Han and Leia and Luke again, and you come out more excited to see what Rey and and Finn and
Poe and Kylo
and,
Ren.
and what they're going to do next. That's saying something.
Yeah.
Do you care that it is that it has all the echoes of A New Hope in it?
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Me either. And I don't get that. Like, I don't, because it's not a copycat movie. It's using a point of reference that I think is valuable, especially for that universe, especially because that universe has shown echoes before and how, things continue on.
If they copied the original trilogy for this new trilogy, I can understand why people would be upset. But homages to where we started and where we are now, I don't understand why people are having such an issue with that.
Honestly, I don't think this is a spoiler. I honestly think it comes down to that it was another Death Star. That it felt like another Death Star.
Yeah.
I think
bigger.
Yeah, just like a bigger Death. I think that keyed people into.
It's not really a spoiler. It's on the poster for the movie.
Right.
So.
No, I know. But I think because it finishes so similarly that people tend to take all the allusions and the echoes as almost a direct copy, and that didn't bother me. I loved it.
No. For the fact, as soon as that John Williams score hit, I got emotional. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 6 again, and I'm watching Star Wars for the first time.
And the thing Abrams does really well, those crackerjack action, we talk about the one take. There's a one take in, I don't think this is a spoiler, but basically,
okay, is it the X-Wing one take?
Yeah. The X-Wing one take,
so
where the
good.
X-Wing takes out, I counted the second time I watched it, 12 TIE fighters in, 6, to 10 seconds. I didn't count the time, but it's 12 TIE fighters. Well, technically, he takes out 6 TIE fighters, then some troops on the ground, and then 6 more TIE fighters all in one take.
It's one hell of a pilot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was so good. And people, for some reason, here's another thing that people are critiquing about this movie. Kylo Ren. I don't get it. The guy was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that his character, the fact that what he does in the movie makes us hate him all the much more, and that he is totally, I don't want to give too much away, but I loved Adam Driver's performance. He killed that.
Oh,
he killed that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, as good as like Revenant, Big Short, Creed, all those movies are, any other year, it would have been one of those movies, but it's Star Wars, so.
I get it. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, 2015, damn good year.
We loved you, 2015.
Yes.
Why did you go away?
2016 has a lot to live up to. Hopefully it can do it. I don't know about Batman, Superman. It looks good, but it's not going to be.
Okay, so we could talk about like what we're looking forward to in 2016.
Suicide Squad.
But here's the thing. Since I've become a full-time movie critic, I pay as little attention to pre-press, trailers, all that stuff. I won't watch trailers.
Yeah.
So I am the worst person to talk to about what's coming out. I don't even know half the time. I don't even know what movies I'm going to until the week I go to them, because I love the feeling of walking into a movie theater and just letting a story be told to me. And that's a privilege I have because I see everything. Not everybody has that privilege.
Yeah.
That's why trailers exist, because you want to spend your money wisely. That's why YouTube channels exist. Like
if I did that, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So
that's true. That is the other reason YouTube channels exist, to, kind of live in that stuff. But for me, I love hearing just that, that story come to life in exactly the way the director wanted me to, instead of having pre-contextualized images and sounds and lines and that I go, oh, I saw that in the trailer. So that's just me.
Yeah. For me, Suicide Squad and The Devil in the White City. If it comes out on Christmas like they say it will. Those are my 2 movies.
I don't even know what that is.
Do you know H.H. Holmes, the story, America's First
Serial
Serial
Killer? I
Killer?
wanted to know what it was. I just said I didn't know what it was.
It's Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Oh,
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That is actually all you need to know.
Yeah, Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Right.
So, and then Suicide Squad. Those are my 2 movies I
am
have to
aware
watch.
of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, everybody is at this point.
I'm aware of most of the Marvel stuff. I kind of have an
like
idea.
Deadpool and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and a Deadpool. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you can't help but be aware of because of pop culture. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I just as much as possible I try to stay away from spoiling myself.
Hype. You don't want to hype yourself up for anything.
This kind of was with Star Wars. We kind of saw the transition to more and more people saying, spoiler free. And I think there's a movement called the Unsullied movement.
Yeah.
If you do like hashtag Unsullied, you'll see it. And the idea is what I was just talking about, to go into movies unsullied, to be able to watch them pure, so to speak. But
That's what I did with The Room, another phenomenal movie of 2015.
great, yeah.
I didn't see any press for it, didn't watch a single trailer for it. Watching that movie, had no idea what was going on until, the big reveal. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be phenomenal.
Right?
Yeah.
I love watching a movie that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
All right. One last time, where can everybody find you?
YourMovieFriend.com. If you want to go to the website, on YouTube, probably search for Aaron Dicer, AARONDICER. You can also search for Aaron Dicer on Periscope. I like to Periscope when I come out of movies, if you do the Periscope thing. And if you're into podcasting, every Friday, we do a podcast called Sift Pop. Sometimes this guy's with us.
Yes, it's been a great couple times I've been on. I just remember the great Good Dinosaur debate of 2015. Surprisingly, I haven't been invited back since. No.
We actually talked about that on the the year-end show.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
The biggest fight.
Conversation.
Yeah.
So,
but one thing you didn't mention, but I really do want everybody to know: Patreon campaign.
oh yeah, if you want to support what we do, I would say go watch the stuff first, and if you enjoy the podcast and those kind of things, that is through a podcast network that we're developing with our friends who support us on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/Aaron and Danae is my co-host for those podcasts. We're really doing something interesting, I think, with starting new podcasts based on levels of support. So we're up to doing 3 podcasts a week now, and we do them live. So we have a live audience that listens in, and then they're also in the podcast feed. So we call them live and later shows.
And that's through Sift Pop.
Yeah,
Mixler.
Mixler is where
Yes.
where they're live. But yeah, so when we do our podcasts, that's kind of how they're supported, how they're funded. So if you like the podcast, you like what we do, yeah, absolutely. Go to Patreon, support us, patreon.com/Aaron and Danae.
Yes, phenomenal stuff. Aaron, thank you so much for
Thanks.
joining me. This was a lot of fun. For us, you can find us on Patreon at Flick Freaks, all forms of social media /Flick Freaks. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, Godspeed.
Great, because a former decorated member of the United States Marine Corps needs your support.
And his name is John Cena. Are you kidding me right now?